Welcome, fellow last places, to another episode of LPF Debrief, where Chris and I talk about comic books, movies, and anime. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about Book of Boba, episode 2. And we're sorry for the late video, but life events happened. So this video is coming out a little later. Usually we drop it on Fridays. And we're going to try to stay consistent on that. But again, life happens, but we're still dropping this video for you guys this week. As always, we're going to start the video the same way we always do, by shaming Yendi for not watching any of this content.
Shame.
Shame. As you guys know, always spoiler alerts, and please like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I think at the time of this recording, we're at 82, so 18 more, and then we can give away this Steel Series mouse. So let's get right into it. Episode 2 of Book of Boba. Chris, what did you think about it?
Loved it. It was awesome. We got more badass moments from Boba Fett. I'm glad we spent a lot more time on his the backstory after the Snarlek pit. Him being with that tribe was pretty dope. Which apparently the person that teaches him how to fight is also the if I'm right, I don't know if I'm wrong. It's the stunt double for Captain Marvel.
It could be. I mean, I know Disney tends to hire in-house.
Yeah.
So if it's the same, yeah, it might be. It could very much be.
Yeah, but anyway, it was pretty badass to see him becoming part of the tribe and the tribe trusting him. We did get it's kind of cool how the first episode we got the present, right? What's going on now? Him becoming what do they call it? Basically the crime.
The daimo.
The daimo.
The daimo.
Yeah. So him becoming that and getting his, footing and everything like that. And then in the second episode, they're like, okay, now we're going to give you more of the past and we're just going to give you bits and pieces of the present. So I really like the transition that they're doing there. What else did I like? Them playing with my emotions with the Rancor pit.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I as soon as she hit the button, I was like, yeah, sweet. I get to see it instead of like this puppet or claymation thing. And as soon as I thought about it, I was like, wait, isn't that thing dead? All this other stuff.
Totally gone.
Yeah, but the second episode loved a lot. It's good. It's getting good so far. We still don't know how many episodes this is, right?
I want to say it's 6, but I don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Same. This was definitely a lot more. We got a lot more story in this second episode than we did on the first. And the thing is, and people just stop overreacting. I remember, and people are not going to remember this, but the first episode of Mandalorian, so many people complained about the first episode of Mandalorian, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's a little too slow for my liking." And it's like, guys, the show. It's literally the first episode. Give it some time to warm up. We have to build characters. Even though you feel like Boba Fett, a majority of people who've been watching Star Wars, actually, if you haven't been reading or reading the comics or reading the books, and being that most of that stuff is not canon anymore, we really don't have a story for Boba. You know what I mean? We don't know anything about his past. So Disney is now making a new canon essentially for Boba. Yes, they're pulling stuff from the comic books, they're pulling stuff from the books, but that doesn't mean they don't have to build that character's past. We do need to know some of that information before we get to where we want to get to. So let it build out a little bit before we start going, oh, this is not my speed, or this is not good. It'll get there. You have to trust the people who are in charge. The people who are in charge are Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and if they have not failed us yet. So also, until they failed us, please give them some time.
Also, my other issue is, how I complained in the beginning, I like Boba Fett. I used to get made fun of for him being my favorite character and everything like that. Now we're getting people complaining, I hate that he takes off his helmet all the time. You shouldn't be showing his face. Shut your mouth. His face is plastered throughout the universe. Look at the 501st. Okay, it's him.
Also, it doesn't even matter because Boba doesn't follow the
Mandalorian.
He doesn't follow. He doesn't follow those codes. He's already been he's a bounty hunter first. And now he's a daimo, but that's what Boba has always been. He doesn't follow this Mandalorian code, which is why he's even doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? It's just that. So again, stop creating, like, yes, you might have had the time to build this, like, this relationship and build these stories for you and how you want Boba Fett to be, but like we don't have any of that written. It's not canon. This is canon. Let us enjoy what's happening and don't judge. It's only the first two episodes. I'm not sure. I know we're at least getting six. Like, I believe is the minimum. And like, just think about it. Think about all the other shows. If you would have gave up on the first episode or episode two, that you would have missed out on great stuff. One of them is probably what everyone, I mean, I feel is consensus the best Disney like show that we've gotten on Disney Plus, which is WandaVision. Like, how many people are like, oh, after episode two, like, oh, it's too slow. Like, it
After the
doesn't,
first
you
one, they
know,
were like, I can't watch all of this.
yeah.
Like they were like,
And
it
it's
can't
like,
be like this.
and then all of a sudden now everyone's like, oh, it's winning awards and
And
like,
all
come
that
on,
stuff
like,
is sold out, and they're wearing
exactly.
shirts.
You
And
can't
they have
find
the ears
anything.
and
Like,
all
you
this
know what I
other
mean?
stuff.
So yeah, so let's stop. Let's take some time. Let's build this story out and go now that I can go into that. The story so far is great. The Tusken Raiders, I love that they're making them cool because they've always been a, I guess, race that's not been liked because we've always known them as villains or have like some kind of villain tie or feel villainish. You know what I mean? And now, I mean, obviously we can't, depends on Boba's not a hero depending on, depending on how you look at it. He can be seen either way, but just him having to gain the respect, just like we talked about in the last episode of Debrief, where we were just like, this is a respected tribe and they have, like, you have to earn their respect. And Boba finding a way and figuring out, teaching them how to, ride, so that they can take down this train so that they can stop being shot at. And then him giving them like this new sense of power essentially is like no one knows these lands like you do. So anyone who needs to try to cross this needs to talk to you. Like, this is something you could be profiting from. And that's really, when you look at it, is one of Boba's like major thing, is always finding a way to profit into situations, even though he always finds a way to make it respectable in his eyes. He always is like, listen, like, you could be making money off of this. Like, you know what I mean? You need to know that it is a possible that you could be making some money. So that was, I thought, was cool. I thought the introduction to the mayor was fantastic. Just having that whole conversation just so we can get a face to what's going on, and him not being the one.
Who's that assistant, by the way?
Which one?
The assistant for the mayor. Because he
Like
cracks
the
me
actor?
up. Yeah. Do you know who that is?
I don't know who the actor is.
Okay. All right. Anyway, continue.
But we could look it up. But yeah, so he but just them, having that conversation and saying, "Oh, it wasn't me who sent those assassins, by the way. Like, I didn't cause this kind of problems." And then us finding out who probably did send the assassins, which was the Hutts, which is Jabba's cousins, saying that they're the rightful daimos to Tatooine because their relationship with their cousin. So saying that it needs to be a family business. And then we get to see whose name I was just pronouncing because I can't say it, is Black Kurstan. If you guys read the comic books, he does show up in the first Vader run. If you guys have that comic now, it is worth.
Dang, I should have pulled that out actually.
I had. If I was at the house, I could have showed you guys. But
I have it, but
I'm not at my house. Yeah, but that book is worth a lot because that's his first appearance now. And again, and just because I always say we talk about comic books, so I'm going to go into a brief comic book dive. If you have any of that first like 5 or 6 issues of that Vader run, you're sitting on some good stuff because the Dr. Alpha, that's her first introduction, is in that book. Like, and a lot of people are looking for those books. Just saying.
I need to get it in some plastic.
Well, you need, you don't have yours bagged and boarded.
I think that one. I think they gave him back. It's okay.
Listen, no, it's not okay. You need to go and get those things bagged and boarded. Okay, instantly, people, get those things bagged and boarded, please. So yeah, those again, and these are just speculations and stuff like that some of these characters might show up in these series now. You know what I mean? So people are getting very excited. We're getting a comic book boomish. Like, people are wanting to have books of characters' first appearances. So if you do have any of that Vader run, please go look at it and make sure it's in a nice, secure, room temperature area. Please.
I think I have the
Not
whole
too
run.
hot. Okay, well, great. Keep it. Because I have the whole run too. I know Dan does also, but that's going to be
Shout
a
out to
very
Dan. If it
important
wasn't
one.
for him, I
Yeah,
probably wouldn't have picked up those, to be honest.
yeah.
And I
But
had
they,
Dr. Afra.
yeah, Dr. Alfred, like a lot of those books are, and that's because a lot of these, people are speculating they might show up in this series, right? So now we're seeing characters from the comic book. We're seeing characters get their own comic books, Thrawn being one of the perfect examples. And I mean, that Thrawn book is going for a lot now. And then, I mean, wait till he shows up in Ahsoka. It's even going to be worth even more. So definitely, like, it was cool to see that, and it's cool that John Favreau and Dave Filoni are taking from all of the Star Wars lore and taking from, again, building this galaxy into this huge thing that we've wanted. Like, this is honestly everything I've ever wanted from Star Wars. I want them to expand on the galaxy without having to use the same characters. I know we're using Boba in this instant, but that's what I mean. We're using like a little short, small, like we're using a character we've known that we don't have much of a story of, but we're expanding the universe in such a big way, even though we're on Tatooine. Like, look how many new characters got introduced on Tatooine. Like, because we've never actually explored Tatooine. We just know that's where Luke is from, and though we know about the sons, and then that's it, right? And now we have now we're building this whole plot line and the story to it because there's so much more to tell there.
Yeah. The going to the train scene, man. I love that whole heist moment of him trying to teach them. The whole speeder thing was fantastic. Shout out to that one to the one guy that has to keep hopping over. And
Yeah, try to learn how to jump, and he's just like the first one. He's like, whoop, whoop. It's so
it
good.
keeps falling into sand. There was one that I didn't understand because he landed, and I don't know if it's because he like punches it that he falls off, but he lands and then somehow jumps off into the sand, and I'm like, what? What?
I think it was so that they could know like what would happen if he did fall,
Yeah.
kind of thing, like just to get used to it. Because I mean, again, that scene was really cool. Like them going off on those speeders and then jumping onto the train, and then like that whole train fight scene was dope. Like, and then the funniest moment to me though was the robot, the droid, who was like, "All right, I'm out of here." Like,
yeah, and he just literally just dips
because like he's like causing all of these issues and stuff, and then he was like, "You know what? There's no way of me winning this. I'm out." And then he just jumps off. So I like that whole scene was really dope, and it goes to show that these big, like, these scenes can be made for TV also. And that's what the thing that I'm enjoying is that we're knocking off of that what's that word? What's the word? I forgot how to say it, but like we're knocking off that stigma on that these big scenes can't be made on TV. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's good that they're putting the budget behind these shows, and that we're getting the creative minds who love Star Wars to make this stuff. So it's really exciting in my opinion to have these shows and the way that they're being made. And I just can't wait till the next episode because I want to know what happens next. And I feel like that's what these shows do for me. If I feel that sense of urge that like I can't wait to see what's next, then you've got me, And I feel like that's a really important thing.
Yeah, man. It was definitely I'm speechless. It was definitely something, man. I just liked, like I said, the whole train scene was my favorite. Just the whole moment of them leading up. Yeah, they lose a couple people. And they do take those moments of like, most of the time, like you have the tribes going up and they're just losing people left and right, but they keep going. You see the moment of them like, well, damn, that's another one. Like, can we really pull this off? And then somebody else dies. And I was like, damn, like, so you feel bad, but they know like this is a goal that they need to accomplish.
Yeah. And that's the thing about the Raiders also, the Tusken Raiders, is that they know, like, you know what, if we don't do anything, we're just going to stand around and get shot like we've been doing. So let's try to lose. Like, if we're going to lose people, we might as well lose people trying to gain a cause and help out like the whole area as a whole, rather than trying to, just keep getting shot at, because we can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
And then it also shows you like how I forgot what the race is called that was on the train, and they were just like, well, we thought you guys were like just a bunch of people trying to, and it was like that wasn't what they were trying to do at all. Like they're just trying to live on their land, like, you know what I mean, on the sands, and do what
because
they
said
do.
they know the race, and even this tribe, the tribe leader was taught, or I think it was the tribe leader, saying like, our people, the rest of our people survive by killing, and we're one of the few that just don't want to do that. We're just out here.
Yeah, they say that they're like there's
Yeah.
many different Raider, like there's many different Tuskens. It's not just the ones that you saw or the ones. And again, just like I was saying early in this episode, is like that's how we've known them. So that's what the galaxy perceives them to be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So them going into this and showing that, and then the end of the episode was just perfect, right? Like just him actually really becoming a tribe member and being considered a Tuscan because he went through he went through everything. He helped them with that big moment of taking out the train, and then like they've fully accepted him. He's doing all of their combat styles, and it's cool because that's a wrinkle again that we had no idea Boba knew right now, and that's a canon thing now. Like Boba is essentially, you could say, is like part Tuscan. Well, he's accepted by like what I mean, by association. So it's cool that we now know that about Boba Fett because we didn't know it.
What's cool too is like I'm gonna bring the cartoons into this too. Is every time you see Boba Fett, he does go through a period of time where he's alone, and then he seems to always find himself in these groups to earn respect, and he gets to the top and he becomes those friends, and then he leaves them, and he always leaves them in a better place, except for that bounty hunter group in the cartoons.
Yeah.
They all ended up, yeah, but it's just pretty cool to see that every time he goes somewhere, it's just like his number one thing is respect, and that's probably my favorite thing about him.
And it's like you said in the first episode, he was like, I don't want to rule by fear. I want to rule by respect. I want people to respect me. So, and that's always been his thing, is like is getting that respect from people or different species in the galaxy. Is like, I just want you to respect me. Like, you don't have to be afraid of me, but I want you to respect me.
Also, I think I'm finding not a pet peeve, but I hate this so much when movies, TV shows do things where something has to enter your nose. My God. Yeah, man. As soon as I saw it, as soon as I saw the gecko, I was like, okay, cool. And then as soon as it started slithering up his nose, I was like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
My
thing is, that one, I don't like the sight of that, but I think anything with the eye is the worst for me. Like, by far, if something's happening to the eye, that's one of the things. And you guys no, I love horror movies, but like you start messing with eyes, I'm like, I can't. I will literally turn away. I get squeamish when it comes to eyes. That's my thing. The nose I can deal with like any other thing, but once you start messing around with people's eyes, I'm like, no, I'm done. So yeah, that's
the tree thing was pretty crazy too. The hallucination and all that, and then bringing the tree and the fact that the tree part becomes his weapon, or I don't even know.
He built it.
I know the weapon has a name, but I can't think of it.
Yeah.
But it's really cool that they're it's like a full tribal thing of just like this is your rite of passage, and even seeing the little Tusken Raider like watching him do it, like he knows, he or she knows like that, hey, this is gonna be me, like this is gonna be my next thing too. So
yeah, and that is pretty awesome. And again, it shows that symbolism because he's like, that gecko is going to guide you. Like, it's going to guide you. Because think about it. They're in the middle of the desert. Where are you going to find a tree? Like, you know what I mean? So, like, that's the reason why that whole thing is cool, is because it's like, he comes back with, like, a piece of a tree from we don't even know where, because there's no trees in the area. So, it's like a really cool thing that, you have to go through. And it shows that tribal mentality. And I think I love seeing that on screen. Like, you know what I mean? I love seeing people having to, find a way to become respected and become a member of that tribe. And I thought it was really cool watching that. Also, there was a hilarious TikTok, if you guys did watch that episode, and if you have watched Encanto, they dubbed that whole end scene with We Don't Talk About Bruno. Find it. It is hilarious. Just saying. And watch Encanto if you haven't, because it's great.
Yeah, it's on my list. I still gotta watch it.
It is fantastic, and We Don't Talk About Bruno is a bop. Anyway, we're getting away from the point, but yeah. So, Chris, what was your favorite moment of the episode? I know you said it, but just elaborate a little bit on it.
Yeah, man, that whole train scene. But I'm trying to think individual. Oh, when they're on the roof, on the roof, and the guy who was training him, the
one in black.
When they come riding up. And it was just like, it's my time, and then blows up the speeder, gets on, and you see people getting taken out, and you see him like pinned down,
Yeah.
and his head pops up and looks at him, and like everybody's shooting that way. I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, this is really dope.
Yeah, I want to know. That's one thing I don't like. I do want to know their names because like, but he when he was doing like he goes ham. He's like, he was like you said, he was like, it's my time. I got to get in here, and he goes back like he just drives in and he starts going ham on everyone. And I was like, yo, I want to know who this guy is because I
Yeah.
need to know, or guy or girl, who knows?
Yeah.
Because we don't, you know what I mean?
And
So
honestly, I would like to know names. Don't
Mhm.
show, because I saw some people say it like, oh, maybe we'll see their faces. Do not show their faces at all. Please don't.
That's the thing. It's funny to me that people have this whole like show faces thing because we got used to it in a whole season of Mandalorian, right? Because remember, everyone's like, "Oh, I hope they show his face. I hope they show his face." Now now people are complaining about Boba always showing his face, and then now it's like the Tusken Raiders. Oh, well, I want to see their face. It's like, listen, people. There's some faces you just don't need to see. One of the perfect examples is one of my favorite movies and comic book series is V for Vendetta. You never see his face. You don't need to. It's not the point. The point, you don't need to know all of these characters. And it's the same thing with Mando. We never needed to see his face either. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's not what it's symbolizing. You know what I mean? That doesn't matter who the person is behind the mask because the character is still the character no matter what the face is. You're just going to associate the face with the Mando mask, and that's not a bad thing.
Especially after all these years with Tusken Raiders, like you see the clothing. As soon as you see the clothing, you're like, "Oh, I'm screwed."
You know,
like I'm in a bad area. Like
you know who it is.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to see faces unless it's a character who's been raised by them, and then I can understand a reveal that way. But like as far as the Tusken race goes themselves, we don't need to see their faces. What we've already that we've had so much content without it. Like we don't. It's not necessary in my opinion.
But what was your favorite part?
My favorite part, I would say, is definitely the end when he finally like becomes solidifies himself as a member of the Tuscans, and it's really cool to me because it's just like he did all this work, he made these plans, he really you could tell that was something Boba genuinely wanted to do because he had respect for them because he wanted them to respect him, but he also had respect for the way that they lived and then the way that they did like had their lifestyle, right? And that's why you could tell, like, remember when he had the chance to run afterwards, like he doesn't, like, he had a chance to be like, all right, I'm out, but like he stayed and he was like, I want to learn.
He knew that was going to be another stepping stone too, because you can even see, like, you don't obviously, like I said, you see the bot. That's what I like about the Raiders too, is like you read the body language. So you can tell the chief was standing there. He's like, let me go. He's like, I will get the train. He's like, I'll be back in the morning. And you could see the tension there of like, okay, like he could be running away and he could bring some other people here and then my tribe is screwed or anything like that. But he gives them that trust. He's like, okay, let's do it. Sure. And then whenever he comes back, you see the sign of relief and respect.
Exactly.
And everything
is that whole respect thing we're talking about. So I thought that was a really cool, like, for him to actually like officially become a member. And I thought that was really well done, the way that they did it with the whole tribal dance and everything. And I love, like I said, I love to see moments like that. So that'll definitely be my favorite for sure. But yeah, so you got anything else you wanted to add, Chris?
Nope. Maybe for the next episode, I'll get some comics out and yeah, I'm actually gonna go check on my comics right now and make sure.
Make sure they're bagged and
I'm
boarded.
pretty sure they are because whenever I go to Coliseum Comics or whenever I subscribe to them, and they had everything ready for me anyway, bagged and boarded. So they're like, here you go. I'm pretty sure
they don't board it. Sometimes they just bag it. And I'll tell you about my issue with Coliseum Comics off a thing because you never know, First, but if you guys want to know, this is not like a sub or like we're not sponsored, but I do also pick up some books from Coliseum.
Yeah, this just wasn't.
So yeah, but so that is going to be it for us today, guys. Again, like, share, comment, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on the episode. Also, what did you guys like? What you guys dislike? Let us know. We want to know your opinions also. And of course, if you guys ever want to be on the show, just hit us up. You can also be on a debrief. We'd like to know, if you ever want to be on one, you could possibly pick the episodes. You guys know what we're going to talk about. So also, we don't mind having new people on, new opinions. So let us know.
Yeah. Comic questions. If you have comic book questions of where to get started, especially on the Star Wars series, I've talked to a couple people that are like, even my Secret Santa got me a comic book, and he said that he went into the comic book shop
Mm.
and he had that overwhelmness of like, I've never been in one.
Yeah.
What do I do? And he picked randomly. You could do that.
Yeah.
But if you have a question specifically towards Star Wars, put it in the comments. Alan is the comic
Yeah. Listen,
guru,
if you need
so
any comic
yeah.
to know where to start from, let me know. I honestly, and if you guys want to follow my my personal, because I actually post what I'm starting to buy now. I actually have to post what I got on Wednesday because people were like, I want to see the stuff that you buy. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I need to show it. And that's part of the resolution, just trying to be better on social media. Go check out our IG. I've been posting. I'm going to post this episode or like make a clip or something like that. But yeah, so we're going to be back on Tuesday for the show, and then after that we're going to do another episode of Debrief, hopefully on Wednesday like we normally do. We'll let you guys know so we can have that out on Friday, and then I'll talk to Chris off to see if we're going to do Peacekeeper because that comes out on the 17th.
I thought that was out already. Okay, cool.
No, it comes out on the 17th.
I have time. All right, cool.
Catch you guys later. Fire team out.